While I was preparing for this talk, I came across this lovely anecdote. It said, "What should a great talk have?" Well, it should have a good beginning, it should have a good end, and both of them should be close together. That's precisely what I plan to do for this talk. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Shweta Kakade Potdar. Spreading smiles is my everyday job, but so is giving injections to people. I am a dentist. It is these contradictions that make the human behavior so maddening, yet so fascinating at the same time. In India, doctors are often considered as extended family members. It's inevitable for doctors to eventually become community people. In the year 2016, I was at the cusp of building my first community, Puneri Thaska. And I was going through this phase of confusion. All of us have our times of confusion, right? What should I have for breakfast? Should I say that? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. None of us are impervious to these times of dilemmas. To end my confusion, I decided to seek my father's advice. And from his vast life experience, he shared one piece of advice with me. How would you ever know if you never give it a try? I decided to take that advice to my heart. When I launched my community, I had one goal in mind. I wanted to create impact. Now, what is impact, you may ask? Is it fame? Is it how many people are benefiting from your actions? Or is it how many positive results are you able to drive just by being involved in something? Well, it's all of that plus more. The impact of communities lies in the small conversations your members are having with each other. The impact lies in the journeys your members are going through together. The impact lies in the obstacles your members are overcoming together. Communities are necessary when the processes are more important than the end result itself. One of my objectives for my community was to establish connectivity across platforms. A few months down the line, the members themselves started telling us what they wanted from the community. Several offline meetups, extensive social drives, and a lot of discussion at their fingertips. After all of this, Puneri Thaska found a space in the lives of 32,000 women across platforms. Communities are successful when every member has something to take away from it. However, communities are sustainable only when the members give back more than they take. And this leads us to our first learning of community building. Communities are not just about belonging to something. It's about doing something together which makes this belonging matter. With a quick show of hands, how many of you have at least one community that you participate in on a regular basis? Yeah? Lovely. I see quite a few raised hands here. Good to know that. So all of us have at least one community that we participate in and contribute to on a regular basis. Communities are an essential survival strategy for us as a species. All of us learned this one line in our 4th grade, right? Man is a social animal. And that is why it is a survival strategy for all of us. In the recent past, all of us have been fortunate enough to witness the remarkable impact of certain communities in this world. Let's check out a few popular examples. All of us have observed that a large community of people advocates for the use of one mobile operating system over the other. It is these communities which drive innovation and support. This demonstrates the effect of people gathering around a shared preference and its impact on a global scale. All of us witnessed the Me Too movement unfold in front of our eyes. This movement empowered countless individuals to gather the courage and share their stories in front of the world. This movement also prompted a large societal change. This demonstrates how communities can bring about social transformation. The ALS Ice Bucket Challenge took the entire world by storm a few years ago. And not just because we saw our favorite celebrities dumping buckets of ice water on their heads, but also because of the massive awareness it drove around ALS. This movement also raised a significant amount of funds for the research and support of ALS. This demonstrates how communities can influence charitable action in the society. The next example that I am going to quote is something which is very close to our hearts. The independence struggle of India. The independence movement of India stands as a monumental example of community-led change. The collective efforts of our freedom fighters, united under this vision of freedom, propelled India to its independence. This demonstrates the indomitable spirit of communities which gather around a shared purpose and a shared vision. All these examples highlight these can have a massive social impact and an influence on not just consumer preferences, but on charitable actions, awareness, social transformation, as well as historic events. This leads us to our second learning of community building. Movements begin when communities gather around a shared vision and a shared purpose. All the mothers in the crowd, please give me a cheer, loud cheer. Lovely, we have so many mothers today. There is this one sentence that all the new parents get to hear very often. It takes a village to raise a child. Raise your hands if you've ever been that mother awake at 2 a.m. at night and frantically looking around and searching for that village, and it's nowhere to be found exactly when you need it the most. That village has disappeared in the modern nuclear setup. But don't worry, it's very much alive and thriving online, with a side dish of shared agony and a sprinkle of laughter. These parenting communities have risen like a phoenix and are given the much needed support to new parents in their journey. The fellow parents in these communities share a lot of tips, tricks, experiences, and also an occasional virtual cup of coffee. Because let's face it, coffee is a parent's best friend. We have seen some awesome businesses evolve out of communities. We have also witnessed some groups transform into support groups for people going through medical conditions. Now that we have understood what kind of impact and influence communities can have on the society, let's digress a little. Let's break down and understand how you can build your own impactful community. There are 3 pillars of community building. The first one is the purpose. The purpose is the reason why your community even exists. You are going to have people from all schools of thoughts joining your community. And the purpose is that glue which is going to hold all these people together. The second pillar of community building is the engagement. Engagement is the currency of your community. It is in this engagement your impact is going to be created. It is this engagement which is going to convert this random group of people into a well-bonded, thriving community. The third, one of the most important but the least talked about pillar of community building is the narrative. The narrative is the story you're going to tell the world about your community. You are going to have two narratives, one internal and one external. The internal narrative is the shared experiences, values, culture, and the conversations your members are having with each other. This fosters a feeling of belongingness within your members. The external narrative is how the world perceives your community to be. This is going to attract the right kind of people towards your community. This is essentially the branding that you are doing. Here, I would like to quote the influencer of magic himself, Mr. Albus Dumbledore. He once said that words are an inexhaustible source of magic. So use your words creatively and craft a compelling narrative for your community. Now that we've understood the impact, influence, and the steps of building an impactful community, I hope all of you can find some motivation within yourself to go out and create your own impact today. Nobody gets remembered for the things they did not do. Google can tell you all the answers in the world, but Google cannot tell you what's there inside your heart. Finding your own purpose, finding your own niche, and summoning the courage to build your own impactful community are the journeys only you can embark upon. Remember, it's not about what you know or what you've learned. It's about what you choose to do with the learnings and the actions that you take after the knowledge. It is these actions that have the potential to create that impact. Because let's be honest, the best way of predicting your future is by creating it. I would now like to conclude by saying this one line I've always wanted to say. Thank you for attending my TEDx talk.